Another episode of Two in the Cooler. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. Thank you guys for watching and listening, subscribing, liking, blah, 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 all that stuff that really helps us out. We appreciate it. This is the last episode of the year, and it's big. You're going to love it. Before we get into that, obviously, got to tell you about the merch. Okay, Christmas is over, but that doesn't mean you can't treat yourself a little more. Why not get yourself something nice, something comfortable, something that's going to make you look good and feel good, and there's no better place to find that than at snackspot.se/creator/teespring.com. We've got merchandise for this show and for Schemin' and Dreamin' with Ben and Jake, the other show we produce right here. I'm talking hoodies, t-shirts, long sleeves, with all kinds of stuff. We've got logo merch, hashtag pizza tipping, obviously Schemin' and Dreamin' logo, Matt Can't Read stuff, and not just things you can wear, but also things you can use, like mugs and pint glasses with Two in the Cooler on them, okay? Top-notch stuff. And this is not just, you know, that same type of merchandise, that same type of t-shirts that all those other shows make you buy, where it's that super shitty material and they're just doing it so that they can make a bunch of money off of you. No. This is high quality fucking merchandise, folks. As far as the t-shirts are concerned, I'm talking tri-blend material. That is Target quality, ladies and gentlemen. And you can find all of that at snackspot.se/creator/teespring.com. All you have to do is hit the link in the show description or in our Instagram bio. Check it out. Get something nice for yourself. Get something nice for a friend. Whatever it is, you're going to look good. I guarantee it. The holidays are over, folks, and when you throw away all those leftovers, you're going to find yourself with an empty fridge, just like everybody else. And everybody else is going to be heading to that grocery store, scouring the aisles, grabbing whatever they can, acting like animals, running their carts into each other, not looking people in the eye, just being absolutely terrible, which is what people do at the grocery store. But the good news is you don't have to be a part of that. You can live your best life and just use Instacart, because with Instacart, you can get not just groceries, but some of your favorite products from some of your favorite local stores delivered right to your front door in as little as 1 hour. Okay, make it easy on yourself. The best part is right now, Two in the Cooler listeners get free delivery on their first order of $10 or more. All you got to do is spend $10 and Instacart will deliver whatever you're looking for right to your house in as little as 1 hour. Just hit the link in the show description and start using Instacart today. And if you're interested in advertising on this show or our twin show Schemin' and Dreamin', email snackspotsports@gmail.com for details on how you can start reaching hundreds of listeners in the Western New York area and beyond. Folks, podcasting, it's becoming a booming industry. Large companies like State Farm, Tropicana, they're all trying to get a piece of the pie. Well, you know what? It's time for local businesses to get in on that action. So if you are interested in this hugely effective new form of advertising, email snackspotsports@gmail.com today. Love takes me down to the streets. The perfect way to start off possibly what will become the perfect episode of this show. It's the 2021 Who Would Win of the Week Tournament of Champions.
I didn't have anything to do with what you named it, but obviously you did because you watched too much Jeopardy.
What else would you name an event like this, though?
I don't know. I haven't got that far yet. None of these people are really champions. They won one fight.
Let me explain how this will work.
The champion, the winner of this tournament will be the champion.
Yes.
So it's just the tournament of a champion.
I'm going to walk everybody through how this is working and how this is going to work. But I want to explain I'm going to explain to you and everybody listening. So the names that have made the board, this is every single person who won the Instagram poll for their Who Would Win for every single week this past year. So there are ones that Matthew and I maybe did not vote for, but won on Instagram, and so they are on the board. There's going to be a bye round that involves the winner of last year's champion was last year's overall champion was Jack Sparrow. So this year he in the first round is going up against Jack Black. Good old-fashioned jack-off.
A good old-fashioned jack-off.
So
in which they will have a bye.
Yes, so they'll have a bye. There's a little fuckery there because I fucked up.
Not a bracketologist.
I'm
Andrew
terrible at brackets. I was freaking out today about that. I was like, I do not know how brackets work. I was like, who do I call about brackets? Who do I call about brackets? I didn't call anybody.
Oh, took it on all by yourself?
Kind of, yeah. So where do you want to start? Do you want to go like down and down, or do you want to go like across?
I think we should go down and down.
Okay, so let's start on this side.
Okay.
So the number one, it's actually, I did it like floopy.
Floopy?
So you'll see John Wick won the very first week last year when he went up against Django.
Oh,
if you remember.
so you went 1-51.
Yeah,
okay.
And then Uconn Cornelius.
You did it floopy.
Yeah, I did it floopy.
Okay,
and then Uconn Cornelius won last week. So that's our first matchup, John Wick versus Uconn Cornelius. Here's the deal. Both of these guys do have guns. They are armed. We know that. Go ahead.
You're one of one, and you're diving in deep. We're gonna be here for 6 hours.
No, dude.
Yeah, you are. I'll tell you who can win this fight already.
We know who's gonna win, but I'm just giving a little backstory. Oh my God, Matthew. So
what?
I'm just trying to play the game.
We are playing the game. I'll tell you.
Okay,
who wins.
so yes, they both have guns, but obviously John Wick is gonna win this fight because Uconn Cornelius is so dumb that he does not even think to use his gun against a snow monster, so he's not going to use it against John Wick. John Wick's going to blow that puppet motherfucker away.
Yeah.
And
John Wick is an assassin. He's going to make a run. I would say John Wick is a top 5 seed in this.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
He has the opportunity to go
He's
all
John
the way.
Wick.
He's John Wick, man.
All
yeah,
right.
there's some of these, so I'll move his tab.
See, this is what scares me.
No, just be careful.
All right, fair.
Just be careful.
Yep.
Okay, next down.
Should we take Uconn Cornelius off the board?
Yeah.
Or should we leave them up there so we know who they beat? Leave them up there.
Okay, yeah, good
I
idea.
like that.
Okay. We're working it out as we're doing it.
Yes, we are.
We're having a lot of fun.
Yeah, for the kids.
Okay, we're doing it for the kids. Next, speaking of the kids, next up is Bobby Flay versus Hulk Hands. Bobby Flay, who beat out Remy the Rat,
Fair.
which is, I don't know. That one is
Bobby Flay.
controversial in my mind.
I'm gonna go with. This is a tough one, and I hate to do it early, but I'm gonna have to go with Bobby Flay here.
Really?
He's the king of stakes, man. He's got some grit. Bobby Flay has a little bit of sandpaper finish to him.
That is a good. He does.
And his hands are, I mean, they're soft, but they're stone. You know what I mean?
I do know what you mean. Because he's
the
working
Hulk
with all that
hands
meat.
are just.
Hulk hands are pretty soft.
Yeah.
And I think Hulk hands definitely don't have the intellectual edge.
And Bobby Flay's intense.
Bobby Flay is intense when he needs to be. He has, beat Bobby Flay. Phenomenal show. There's a lot of confidence,
Yeah.
that
If you
just
start
naturally
your own
comes.
show like that, like if you have a show that's just random contestants coming on trying to beat you.
And they pick the dish.
Yeah.
So yeah, Bobby Flay.
Yeah, brass sack Bobby. That's what they call him, brass sack Bobby. Going on to the second round.
My biggest fear is that we're gonna get into this and then realize that I fucked up the whole
Well, then
thing.
we just we'll make it up as we go. Next up, we have Mike Ditka versus Robin.
the boy wonder.
We know who wins this fight, and it's Mike Ditka because Robin is 7 years old.
He's
8 years old.
8, I think.
Robin is an 8-year-old. Mike Ditka would beat the fuck out of an 8-year-old.
Robin maybe doesn't know how to multiply, but I would argue Mike Ditka maybe doesn't either.
Mike Ditka is one of the greatest coaches of all time, and you're going to call him stupid?
No, I'm not calling him stupid.
You call
I'm
him
just
stupid.
saying his
Anybody who doesn't know how to multiply is stupid.
His STEM skills may not be.
His stem cell research isn't
Mike
as much
Ditka, known stem cell scientist, may not be able to deal with Robin's flexibility. I would say that Mike Ditka has what I would call a henchman's physique.
Robin couldn't take a punch from Mike Ditka.
But would Mike Ditka even tag him once?
Oh my God, yeah. Andrew, you are out of your mind right now. You're thinking of Mike Ditka only from the movie Kicking and Screaming,
where I know him best.
Yeah.
Certainly.
You got to think about Mike Ditka's a real person outside of that movie. I don't know if you knew that. And he's one of the greatest football coaches of all time. Duh Bears. Mike Ditka wins this fight. Advance him, please. Mike Ditka's a sleeper in this match, in this tournament.
He does have hard fists and hard sweater vests.
And Robin couldn't do a thing to hurt Mike Ditka.
I see what you mean. He might as well be wearing Hulk hands.
Yes.
Because I will give it to Ditka because the thickness of those sweater vests would be able to absorb any of Robin's punches or Tiny Boy Kicks.
Mike Ditka's straight up diesel.
So we will move. Now here is one of the...
How did this get mad? Was this true? Did you alter this?
Nope, I didn't alter this at all.
This is fight of the century.
This is Rafi versus Creed. I'm going to start the first. I'm going to go live on Instagram.
Yeah, because this one is worth it.
Let's see if I can figure out how to do this. I wish I knew how to save them to the...
I think I do. They post on Instagram. They don't go to our story. They post on Instagram.
No, they don't.
Yes, they do.
Nope, not on ours. It must be some kind of setting that I don't understand.
Love, take me down to the streets.
I'm glad that's the song today.
Yeah.
And
are we live?
I'm flipping. I have to flip it around.
Oh.
I flip the,
Whoa, Black Betty. Ram lam. So, it's all on me here.
It's gonna have to be.
Well, hey, there you go. This is so for those who are just tuning in on Instagram Live, and we are also recording right now. In the Who Would Win of the Week Tournament of Champions 2021, right now we have probably what seems to be early on the toughest matchup we'll face. Like this is
two masters of chaos.
This is an 8-9 matchup right here. You know what I mean? In the world of brackets.
Oh, got it.
This is an 8-9 matchup. And neither of them should be 8 or 9. This is like a whoever comes out of here this is a tough section of the bracket.
Yeah. This is
a grizzled I would put my money on section 1 of the bracket to win the whole thing. Cuz whoever comes out of here, I mean we haven't got to the rest of it.
Yeah.
So I'm saying this early, but I'm going to have to right away I hate that. I want to pick. I'm going to pick Creed.
Really?
Yeah, I am.
Why?
Because
will you turn my headphones down a very tiny bit, please, Emily?
They both have very similar things, but Rafi is very kind of open about the things he does.
Right.
Whereas Creed kind of does it in the shadows, and I think that would be to his advantage in a fight against Rafi.
Wow, that is an excellent call because it's true. Creed. He does hide his second life. It does seem that he was like somebody in the past, and now he's working at Dunder Mifflin. Rafi, straight up lunatic, could never master that. Wouldn't want to, though, also.
No. But this is a classic in Who Would Win in the Week fashion. If they weren't fighting to the death, they'd become friends. But I think that Creed would kind of spin Rafi. If you told Rafi, if you threw them both in a ring and told Rafi these two are going to fight to the death, Rafi would instantly go bananas. I think Creed would be able to talk him into like a less like frantic stabby state in which Creed would then flip on Rafi.
Yeah, see, I think Creed would be able to flip as well. I think it's two flips going off.
Yeah, well, that's yes.
Just
well,
two
no,
flames.
I agree, but I think Rafi gets it's metaphorically grabs the knife first, and then Creed has to talk him into hanging out, which he will do.
Yeah.
Not because Creed's a good talker, but because he'll start talking about some weird shit, and that'll suck Rafi in, and then Creed will stab Rafi. So I think Creed wins this fight.
I think Creed wins this one as well.
So we'll advance Creed. That's another barn burner right there.
Oh, Ditka v. Creed?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, next up. Okay, this one, super easy. Bop It, the toy Bop It, versus Eeyore from Winnie the Pooh. Bop It wins, without a doubt. Eeyore,
yes, 100%. Yeah, we can advance. Yeah,
Eeyore has zero drive to do anything. He would easily get destroyed by a little fucking toy.
Next up, we have Charlie from It's Always Sunny versus Marty McFly. Now, first instinct, everybody's going to say Charlie, as they should. But remember, Marty McFly gets himself out of some sticky situations. Also, Marty McFly beat the Sausage King of Chicago.
What? Biff?
No, didn't Marty McFly fight Matthew Broderick? Ferris Bueller.
No, Ferris Bueller and Fonzie.
Oh,
Ferris
yeah.
Bueller's on
here
somewhere.
So that makes sense. I was going to say, how did
Marty McFly beat Napoleon Dynamite.
Oh, my God. I fucking hated that episode. Yeah. That pissed me off that anybody thought otherwise. But I think I am going to stick with Charlie here. I think that Marty is really good at getting himself out of situations, but Charlie, there's just too much mania inside of that brain to take out Marty, or for Marty McFly to take him out.
I do think that while Marty is the sanest person in his world, everybody that he's dealing with is very crazy. However, if Charlie just started huffing his chemicals,
drinking bleach,
Marty would be like, "This is too much for me."
What's going on, man?
Yeah, I
Bad
think
Marty McFly impression. Good
again,
line though.
the chaotic person
Charlie.
advances this round.
Okay.
So Charlie Kelly. Next up, I love this one: a Ford Fiesta versus Bane from Batman. This is actually a pretty good fight. If there's anybody who might have a great chance against a Ford Fiesta, it's Bane.
Even though I beat the Ford Fiesta, but we'll move on from
Sure.
that. I'm going to also go with Bane here. I think that Bane is the right answer. I don't think that a Ford Fiesta really stands in his way because not much does. Airplanes. He takes out airplanes a couple times in that movie and stadiums. I mean, I know he doesn't do it all himself, but he's not afraid of machine. He was raised in darkness.
Yeah.
Ford Fiestas were birthed in like the most pink freaking like birthing unit of all time.
Can I tell you what I think Bane's move is for this and how it's a little
Is it
different from everybody else's?
Fist smash. That's
Kind of. I think that most people, when they're fighting against a Ford Fiesta, are all about dodging, like jumping around, kind of getting the Ford Fiesta into a corner. I think Bane rushes the Ford Fiesta, literally throws himself through the fucking windshield and starts ripping apart the Fiesta from the inside.
Okay.
And once you're inside the Ford Fiesta,
it's toast.
It's toast.
Yeah.
It can't do anything.
Agreed.
Bane's
moving
on.
The next fight we have here, 2021 Tournament of Champions, is Zach and Cody versus Indiana Jones.
Yeah. Now
this is interesting.
It is interesting. I would say Indiana Jones hates children.
Well, so can I say something?
Yeah.
I think that out of all the things that could act as weaknesses towards Indiana Jones, like having to go up against two like horribly behaved children is probably his toughest task.
100%. I also would not put it past Zach to have a rubber snake in his pocket just by chance.
I think I'm gonna have to go Zach and Cody here.
I think so too. I think that Indiana Jones hates children, does not know how to deal with them.
Yeah, he's
the only time
he'll get so like flustered trying to figure out what's going on,
especially because he's the only
he
child.
Short round.
Yeah,
but short round's not trying to fight him.
Short round's so mature for his age.
Yeah, and short round's not trying to fight him.
Yeah, Zach and Cody
moving on.
Oh my God, that's gonna be next round's gonna be a lot of fun. Who's next?
James Buffett versus Bruce Lee. Bruce Lee wins this fight.
Yeah, Jimmy Buffett. I mean,
Buffett would go out in an absolutely peaceful state. He would look at Bruce Lee and he'd say, "Just give me my guitar and let me strum my way to heaven." And that should be a Jimmy Buffett song, "Strum My Way to Heaven."
Strum my way.
Yeah,
that is pretty good.
And Bruce Lee would just kind of very peacefully
kick his spine out of his body.
kill him with no pain. He would put him out in a very respectful manner.
I like that. That is not how I saw this fight going. I saw it more as Jimmy Buffett kind of walking up and maybe trying to kick Bruce Lee with his bare feet and then Bruce Lee just destroying him.
No. James Buffett knows his limitations.
But I think you're right. I think that it is more accurate that they're kind of two masters of Zen meeting up, and
one knows that they're not
exactly
as qualified
kind of like
as the other.
If anybody watches Bruce Lee versus Chuck Norris, that's like a sick fight in the movie, and I think that's exactly how this would go down. Okay,
who is that top person?
A leprechaun versus Dom Toretto.
A leprechaun versus a leprechaun. Dom Toretto again wins this fight.
How?
Because if you think leprechauns are magical, Dom Toretto, because you want to know why? Because leprechauns' strength is that everybody that they're up against just wants their pot of gold. Dom Toretto doesn't give a fuck about that pot of gold. He's doing it for his family.
I would also argue that Dom Toretto is one of the luckiest creatures on Earth without being a leprechaun.
Yeah. And, like, I'm going to say it again. Dom Toretto does not care about the pot of gold. He wants to win this fight for his family. And the leprechauns don't have families. They're kind of like, they're kind of snotty creatures.
Mm-hmm. For sure.
Dom Toretto, send him on to the next round, please.
I think you're right. Okay, this is a pretty good matchup as well, this next one. Hold on. Let me two guys with very similar haircuts.
Yes. Jim Beiheim versus George Costanza. I can tell you right now,
Yeah.
again, I know I'm getting aggressive here, but Jim Beiheim wins this fight, and let me tell you why.
I know why.
George Costanza would be put in a mental pretzel if he saw the 3-2 zone come at him.
You're absolutely right.
Beiheim, people say he's a one-trick pony,
Mm-hmm.
George Costanza would be so confused.
That's the kind of pony that could beat George
yes.
Costanza.
Oh my God. Yeah. If you have too many tricks, George Costanza is going to figure out how to manipulate them. Jim Beiheim, he sticks to his roots. George would be all over the field.
And Jim Beiheim is one of the people on this board that actually has experience murdering someone, so he is going to move
Jim Beiheim
on.
Killed somebody?
Yeah, he ran him over with his car.
Oh, I thought that was Tony Stewart. What's that NASCAR guy's name? John Legend.
Yeah, John Legend.
Yeah.
Next up, this is a good matchup too. I was a little. Again, the way that they fell is kind of, but it's Sour Patch Kids versus Chester Cheetah. Now, I think Sour Patch Kids take this Gulliver's Travel style, where like a bunch of tiny Sour Patch Kids just are able to climb up Chester. Because I would say both, when we talked about in both of these guys in their regular who would win matchups.
Tony the Tiger went down to Chester, and
M&M's went down to Sour Patch Kids. Yeah. The chaotic styling and sort of not giving a fuck of both of them came into play. I would say that the group mentality of the Sour Patch Kids overpowers that in Chester.
Yes,
and
I agree that Sour Patch Kids wins this fight. I think that, well, I mean, I agree. I'm just trying to think of how Chester would find his way out of it.
Chester Cheetah gonna hit them with that spice.
Who said that?
Alex Bauer. Chester Cheetah gonna hit them with that spice. He doesn't.
Buddy, we're not talking about flaming hot Cheetos. I guess you
could, but I don't think that's a factor. I think I think that the Sour Patch Kids, sour sweet, their whole.
They're in and out.
They embody the entire flavor spectrum. So anything you throw at them is not going to be effective.
Agreed.
Sour Patch Kids, moving on.
So what do you have going on here?
So Kangaroo Jack versus Jimmy Neutron.
Okay.
I think initially I'm going to say Kangaroo Jack for a couple reasons. One, Jimmy Neutron, his stuff always does go haywire. Kangaroo Jack.
And I agree with you.
Yeah.
Kangaroo Jack is very smart.
He is smart.
And that's how he kind of is able to,
I think that
do his thing. Because people think he's dumb.
Yeah.
And Jimmy Neutron, I feel like, because he's so smart, assumes that a lot of other people are dumb.
Especially Kangaroo. Yeah. And when Jimmy's technology does
fail,
Kangaroo Jack is going to be able to recognize that and take advantage of it.
Even
because he's Jackie Legs.
Jackie Legs can sustain a brain blast for sure.
So I'll move Kangaroo Jack to the middle, actually.
Move him here. Just put him right here. And
okay.
So we'll come over here. We'll go up now.
Oh, okay.
So we'll start with last year's champion Jack Sparrow versus Jack Black. This is an interesting fight.
Sorry, I'm just looking at the...
Okay. This is an interesting fight because Jack Sparrow would beat the majority of people on this board, but I don't know that he beats Jack Black.
That's why
Jack Black is
This is actually charisma. Both of these guys, charisma is their number one. Yeah, absolutely.
Soaking in it.
Soaking in charisma.
Mm-hmm.
This is a really hard one.
I am actually going to go with Jack Black. And the reason that I'll say that is because they're both going to drip charisma. Eventually, Jack Sparrow is going to get bored. Because he does.
Mm-hmm.
Or he'll start drinking rum.
Yeah.
And that's when Jack Black just belly dives right on top of him.
Jack Black will not fall prey to that.
Are you in agreement with that? Oh.
I don't see any way around Jack Black moving
Winning.
on to the next
Yeah,
round.
I agree.
And
And that's immediately a champion falls.
yes.
We should have Jeff from Survivor on here. He would be really good at this. Ooh, I didn't know what these things called.
Okay. I'm going to move him under here.
Oh.
Because they're going up against each other.
Yeah. And then
Okay.
and then they move to here? No, then they move to here.
No. They will move. They will go straight to here.
Yes, I got
So
you.
Jack Black and Kangaroo Jack.
In contention for a second round bye.
Yes. Okay. Great.
Okay.
Moving
up, we have Fun Dip versus Fanny Pack. Another interesting matchup.
Mm-hmm.
I'm personally going to go with Fanny Pack. No, I think I'm going to go. I don't know. This is a tough one.
Yeah.
Because you have to remember, I know this came up last time too, but the stick, the Fun Dip stick, is not something to be fucked with.
That's true because it's incredibly durable.
And it's...
But the other side, the powder, right? I don't think there's any way the powder is going to throw off the fanny pack.
That's not necessarily true. If the powder loosely gets inside of the fanny pack, it's gonna create absolute destruction and mayhem. The worst thing that could happen to a fanny pack is Fun Dip powder getting spilled inside of it.
Because it's like sand.
Yeah, and it's not going
I
anywhere.
did not consider
and it's
that.
just going to eat away for years. If it gets wet, don't want anything to do with that. So I think I just talked myself into Fun Dip.
God, that is not what I expected. But I think because the fanny pack is so much larger than Fun Dip as well, but because of the granule nature of the dip, the Fun Dip powder, it could really get into the seams. Yeah. I mean, there's no way that would be in there for centuries.
Could penetrate its membrane.
Yes, absolutely. Mm-hmm. So Fun Dip has to move on.
Fun Dip advances. Whoa.
Yeah, there we go. Moving on,
we have
this is a highly. I will also
Luke
say this
Skywalker versus Hugh Hefner.
Yeah. That old pervert is getting decapitated immediately.
Luke Skywalker's a Jedi, folks.
Yeah. Luke Skywalker, again, in contention to win this whole thing. It all depends. Very carefully placing it. See, it gets... I love this board.
This is great.
Okay.
Next up, we have Abe Lincoln versus Mick Jagger.
I don't think Abe Lincoln would take any of Mick Jagger's fucking hijinks. I think he would rock him to his core. That skinny motherfucker's getting put on his ass. Abe Lincoln takes that one.
I agree with you. Abe Lincoln ain't taking no shit from the moves like Jagger.
Okay. Harry Potter versus a Big Mac. Here. I just want to say this.
Say your piece before I move Harry Potter on.
Yes. Look, we know what's going to happen, but I don't think it's going to be immediate. I think it's going to take a couple minutes, and I'll tell you why specifically. Because I'm not sure that there is enough organic matter in a Big Mac to hugely be affected by the magic of Harry Potter. And even if there is, that would be a type of transfiguration magic, which is not Harry Potter's strong suit. Okay, he did not get a great score on that in his exams at old Hogwarts.
In his owls,
in his OWLs or his NEWTs, whatever. But I do think if this were Ron Weasley going up against a Big Mac,
Big Mac might win.
Big Mac might win because Ron. He grew up in a wizarding family, completely dependent on magic.
But we're talking about the Michael Jordan
of wizards.
And
Harry Potter, if he went out with magic in the first place, realizing that it would not work, he'd then just stomp the Big Mac, take a bite out of it.
Yeah.
No big deal.
Shit it out.
Fun one.
Great fight.
Yeah.
E.T. versus Scooby-Doo.
Correct.
Scooby-Doo will win this fight.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
Why do you say that?
Because, well, Ooh. So at first, Scooby-Doo is going to be very, very afraid.
Terrified.
But it's not in E.T.'s nature to let people be afraid of him. So before he would try to fight Scooby-Doo, he would try to say to Scooby, like, we're one in the same,
Do your best
brother.
E.T. impression.
We're one in the same. That's my E.T. impression.
And
E.T. doesn't want to live. He just wants to go home. E.T.'s will to live might be lower than Eeyore's.
he does falter in. Okay, I have not even said my piece. Do not move Scooby-Doo yet.
You hate E.T.
I do hate E.T. I think that Scooby-Doo, at the end of the day, he's a dog. He'd be terrified of E.T., but E.T. does not realize that people are afraid of him, so he would kind of chase Scooby-Doo into a corner with the glowing finger, and E.T. would
lose said finger.
Yes.
Yeah.
Scooby would just bite
And then
it
E.T.'s toast.
And
Once
then
that finger's gone, E.T.'s got
E.T.'s
nothing.
toast. So, yes, Scooby-Doo would win. Oh, boy.
This is an interesting fight, too.
You think so?
Next up, we have Frank Reynolds versus Ferris Bueller. I do, and let me tell you why.
Okay.
Ferris Bueller should win against most people, but Frank Reynolds is, for whatever reason, kind of a master con man. Want to know what I'm just now realizing?
Oh, no. What?
Muzzy's not on this board.
Who?
Mozzie.
Yeah, because he lost.
To who?
Dr. Spencer Reed.
That's blasphemy.
I know, but we're going by the Instagram polls. We're not going by what we decided.
Tournament of Champions 2021 officially suspended. But anyway, Frank Reynolds is kind of a con man in himself, in his own right.
Yeah.
So
That's a good point.
and that's the thing is, that's the only reason he's alive, right? Is because he's able to weasel his way out of shitty situations that he gets himself into. But at the end of the day, I think that Ferris Bueller's young stamina and steady good looks do win him this fight.
You think so? I think Frank Reynolds wins this because I think that
because Frank goes a little savage. Frank's got a little touch of
huge savage because of the
Frank has a
chaotic
he
nature.
poops in beds and doesn't even care. He leaves it there for days.
And he'd poop all over Ferris.
Oh yeah, and Ferris would not do well being pooped on.
No, I don't think so.
I
Especially
actually agree
because
with you.
Ferris is so used to being able to manipulate the people in his life.
And Frank doesn't take shit from people like Ferris.
Yes,
right.
100%.
Frank would kind of see right through it.
Frank is the homeless version of Ferris Bueller.
If Ferris gets arrested at some point in his life, he would then turn out to be Frank Reynolds.
Yeah, that's a good call.
But Frank's seasoned. He knows how to deal with somebody like Ferris. So Frank is moving on. Next up, we have Donkey from Shrek versus Master Splinter.
Yes.
Donkey would do the best he could to talk his way out of this situation, and Master Splinter would put him down painlessly.
Absolutely. I think especially because with the, dealing with people like Donkey, Master Splinter has raised 4 teenage boys by himself, including Michelangelo, who's got
a bit of a rascal.
You could say that about him. Yeah. He's a little bit of a rascal.
Devious.
So he'd be able to deal with Donkey, no problem. This is a matchup I was excited to get to. It's Steve Irwin versus Patrick Bateman, who's the main character in American Psycho.
So a serial killer versus somebody who allowed themselves to be killed.
But think about...
That was a joke because Steve Irwin was not.
Because he let himself be killed by that stinger. He absolutely did. Think about...
Steve Irwin winning this fight? Oh.
I'm begging you to let me talk this one through, kid.
Okay.
Think about the nature of Patrick Bateman's fighting style. It's slow. Patrick Bateman is like a spider. He gets you in his web, and then he, boom, grabs you. And he's a psycho, right? Steve Irwin, being so attuned to reading animals without them, being able to communicate very much, I bet you that Steve Irwin would be able to pick out a psychopath very easily out of a lineup.
Oh, my God, yeah.
So... and get the jump on him, foil his plans before Patrick Bateman is able to bring out the axe, the chainsaw, whatever.
He would be able to get close without Patrick Bateman being in fear, and then he would be able to trap Patrick Bateman.
Yes, very much so.
And submiss him. So I agree with you. Steve Irwin wins this fight.
Okay, I'm glad. Okay. Next up, Grandpa Simpson versus Larry the Cable Guy.
A lot of arguing to come.
I was mad that Larry the Cable Guy won the Instagram poll because Larry the Cable Guy, his real name is like David Wallace.
Who is he fighting?
He's fighting Grandpa
who
Simpson.
did he fight?
Tim Allen.
Oh, that's brutal.
Yeah, so I think that there's no way Larry the Cable Guy beats anybody because he's a phony.
Yeah, I do agree that,
phony.
and he'll underestimate Abe Simpson. And Abe Simpson, we know, is a vet, a war vet.
Yeah,
he's hard.
I mean, he was a coward,
and he's crazy. Listen,
whoa,
it's fine.
I thought you were taking the board down. Okay, I'm just making sure the glare's not too bad with that adjustment.
I don't necessarily like that. I don't like that pick, but out of spite, I do agree that we should bury Larry the Cable Guy. Eggsy versus Waldo.
Two masters of espionage.
Eggsy wins every single time. Waldo couldn't hide from Eggsy in a world of Waldos.
Okay. I just want to bring up something that we did not even know about Waldo last time we had him in Who Would Win, is that it is canon that Waldo, because of the Where's Wally cartoon, is an interdimensional magic traveler.
Yes, but it doesn't matter because Kingsman would just give Eggsy away to interdimensionally magically travel or whatever you said. Eggsy could possibly win this whole thing, actually. Yes, I agree.
I do think that he would be able to find Waldo.
Yes.
Because he's got he's got everything at his disposal.
Eggsy.
So Eggsy is moving on. Okay.
To the next round.
Next up, I love this one.
Fight.
Yeah. Let me tell you who wins. Gronk, because Mark Wahlberg is such a huge Patriots fan and such an asshole.
But Gronk doesn't play for the Patriots.
Oh, that's right. He doesn't anymore.
No,
he was a great Patriot. I think that's a huge factor.
I think but now that he's not on the Patriots, Mark Wahlberg's pride takes control of this fight, and he wants to beat these. I don't necessarily disagree with Gronk. Might still win. I'm still thinking it through in my head.
Yeah,
but Mark Wahlberg is going to fight like hell, and he's kind of jacked.
Yeah.
And Gronk is like a physical specimen, but he's also just kind of goofy.
Yeah.
And I think that Mark Wahlberg wouldn't stand for goofiness. He would fucking no pain, no gain, beat the fuck out of Gronk.
I agree. I think Mark Wahlberg has got the strength as well as the agility.
Yes.
That would come into play.
I don't know if he's more agile than Gronk, but Gronk's goofiness takes
though. Gronk, he's bulkier and his body's
Mark
been
Wahlberg
beaten.
Could have been a professional athlete if he wanted to.
Oh yeah,
he would probably say that.
But he's a terrific dancer.
Yeah. No, Mark Wahlberg wins that fight.
Yeah.
Because he would just be more serious going into it than Gronk would.
Mm-hmm.
And
okay, final matchup of the first round. We're not going to
agree on this one.
How? You're joking. You're fucking joking. You really think that Dr. Spencer Reed could win against Jackie Chan?
Yes,
oh boy. You are delusional. You can go ahead and say your piece if you want, but you're absolutely
no. That's just
wrong.
gut. That's gut.
Jackie Chan.
I'll give you the win because I do think that Jackie Chan probably has the better odds, but in an underdog story, like we're not picking one underdog.
There's no need to, because he would lose.
I don't think he would. I think he's too smart. And he's
Jackie Chan. Don't you dare call Jackie Chan dumb.
I'm not.
Jackie Chan is a smart
Chan's
guy.
not dumb, but
I know Spencer Reed's like a genius.
This one pains me to do,
but it's Jackie Chan all the way, without a doubt. Okay, should we go back over here?
Yeah, I suppose we could do that.
Okay, let me go back on Instagram Live. Starting off round 2. Jesus Christ.
What?
Oh, just trying to figure out Instagram.
Navigate.
Okay, starting off round 2. Back on this side of the board, John Wick versus Bobby Flay. Bobby Flay, I feel like, would actually not like if John Wick.
If this turned into a knife fight, Bobby Flay would somewhat hold his own.
He does have experience with that, doesn't he?
But John Wick would win this fight. He's an assassin.
He's the assassin, is the thing.
Yes.
John Wick has a lot of potential to win this whole thing.
Yes.
So yes, I will move John Wick.
John Wick moving on. Yeah, I mean Bobby Flay has good skill with knife, but I don't know if he could kill a man with his bare hands like John Wick can.
And he's good under pressure. Like if John Wick broke into his house, I feel like Bobby Flay would kind of mentally be prepared for that.
Yeah, Vay is good under pressure, but it doesn't matter.
Yeah,
he could be calm and still die.
Yeah, no way.
Mike Ditka versus Creed. So we're in the second round now. Mike Ditka wins this fight again.
Really?
Mike Ditka is a no BS kind of guy.
That's true. And Creed is all BS, you're saying?
Creed is all BS.
Mm-hmm.
How's he supposed to do a scuba if he has asthma?
Yeah, but Creed is so tricky. But Mike, I'm talking myself into Ditka. Mike Ditka, NFL coach, he's used to dealing with tricky people.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So I think you've got to. I think this is a good call.
Bears. Ditka moves on.
This one, let's talk about this for a second. It's Charlie Kelly
versus
a
Bop
Bop
It.
It. I think the
Bop It
wins. The Bop It
The Bop It
wins.
100% wins.
The Bop It would
confuse
confound
the fuck out of Charlie Kelly.
He would have
no clue what was going on. And his solution to it would be to like get more drunk and more high and like take more chemicals.
If Charlie Kelly got a hold of a Bop It, it would ruin his entire life.
He would go like, there's times in the show where they have to pull him out of a hole because he goes like mentally insane. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And the Bop It would drive him to absolute insanity.
Completely. Bane versus Zach and Cody.
Bane to me is a little. It would start off similarly to Zach and Cody's victory over Indiana Jones, where Bane probably hates children, but the difference between Bane and Indiana Jones is that Bane doesn't give a fuck about children.
Yeah.
So he would just kill him to shut him up.
Yeah, I don't think that Bane necessarily hates children. I think that he's actually, in a way, he would be sympathetic to children. But if they got in his way, it would be like...
Yeah, I agree with you.
He
probably
would just
be sympathetic.
Destroy them.
He would probably try to mentor them, but once they started pissing him off, he would fuck them up.
Yeah, so Bane is absolutely moving on.
Do you see the next matchup?
No. Oh, shit. So many of these would be great. Who would wins like regularly?
Yeah.
Dom Toretto versus Bruce Lee. Let's get into it. Let's break it down. Go. You start. You're obviously such a huge Dom.
I'm obviously taking Dom Toretto.
Mm-hmm.
Dom Toretto has gone hand to hand with everybody and anybody who knows every and all fighting style. Some of the most hardcore killers, some of the most well-trained MI6 people, right? Like spies. It doesn't matter. Dom Toretto has came out on top on all of them.
Yes. Bruce Lee's obviously smaller than Dom Toretto.
Yeah.
He's so good at fighting bigger opponents. He's so used to being in that position.
Yeah, but so is Dom Toretto. Like, look at Shaw. I don't remember which Shaw it is.
Okay.
He's what's his name?
Jason Statham.
Right. Like Jason Statham would beat Bruce Lee, and Dom Toretto beats Jason Statham. It's osmosis. Right?
Yeah, diffusion. Osmosis
PEMDAS.
It's PEMDAS. It's basic PEMDAS. Actually, let me do some PEMDAS right now to see if you're actually correct. Parentheses, exponent. Hold on. Parentheses, exponent,
multiplication, division, addition.
Hold on. I'm doing
no,
because
you're gonna say something stupid
step.
like Bruce Lee wins.
No, something stupid like Bruce Lee wins. That's not stupid. They're fighting each other.
Yeah.
This is a good matchup. That's not dumb. Bruce Lee. Oh boy, is there any better fighter, like one-on-one fighter, than Bruce Lee? And you think it's Dom Toretto? But here's a difference. Dom Toretto, I don't think has any training, really. Not necessarily that he needs it, okay? But Bruce Lee...
Sheer willpower. What is Bruce Lee fighting for in this fight?
Honor. The same thing he always fights for.
Well, Dom Toretto's fighting for family.
Ooh, family versus honor.
Family.
That's what this is really. In the fight of family versus honor... two concepts that are so heavily intertwined. But if that's what this comes down to, you can't bet against the family.
No, you can't bet against family. Dom Toretto moves on, baby. This one is a easy one too. The next one, we have Jim Beiheim versus Sour Patch Kids.
I think
Sour Patch Kids win.
Jim Beiheim bitches out if he's
Jim
going
Beiheim
up
is
against
100% losing to Sour Patch
It's
Kids.
over.
Yeah, he could not handle Sour Patch Kids.
So do we?
He can barely handle the transfer portal.
The what?
Transfer portal. It's a college basketball joke.
Oh, okay. So do we do this one now? Anyway?
Yes, we do. No, we
okay.
do Jack Black versus Kangaroo Jack.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Another jack off.
Another jack off.
Double down on jack
And this one, again, phenomenal matchup. Both, again, I would argue that that's a very charismatic kangaroo.
Oh, yeah.
However,
as charismatic as they come.
However,
for kangaroos,
this kangaroo has never dealt with someone as charismatic as Jack Black. I think that this kangaroo would be putty in Jack Black's hands.
I think Jack Black wins this fight too. And do you want to know why? Like, it's one of those things where, like, you know, in a last-ditch effort when, like, a grizzly bear's coming at you and you stand up as tall as you can and just scream in its face and the bear, like, gets back down and walks away. That's Jack Black to this kangaroo. Like, Jack Black is going to stand up to Jackie Legs and match that swagger like
Matches
nobody's
energy.
ever done
Yep,
before.
That's exactly what I was going to say.
And Kangaroo Jack's not going to know what to do. So,
well, I think Kangaroo Jack just becomes so docile in the hands of Jack Black. I think he does it.
Yeah. That's what I mean.
Okay.
So Jack Black is moving on.
Yes.
To be one win away from the Final Four. No? Yeah.
Yeah, right.
Yes.
Okay.
So we're moving on to we'll go from the bottom again, or are we gonna go from the top? All right. Fun Dip versus Luke Skywalker. I think we're gonna have to take Luke Skywalker in this one. Because the Fun Dip stick, the Fun Dip sand, my man has the Force. He's a Jedi.
If he does have the Force? Because I was gonna say,
and there's only one thing on Earth that can just straight up cut through a fresh Fun Dip stick,
and it's a
lightsaber.
I will say, I think that the Fun Dip's move here would be to, similar to the fanny pack, get the powder
in the lightsaber?
into the lightsaber.
I thought that too, but would that affect the lightsaber?
Yeah.
You see lightsabers go through a lot though, and they still work, even if you got it.
I think enough of it and enough Fun Dip powder, and you can
burn out a lightsaber.
Can burn out the lightsaber. But
if that Fun Dip powder starts coming at him,
but then he's still got the Force, and using the Force against the powder itself may be very difficult. But Luke Skywalker's like the most powerful Jedi of all time. If he wanted to, he could Force move, lock onto every single granule of that powder.
Agreed.
And take it out of his lightsaber, whatever he needs to do.
Yeah, who did you think was going to beat Luke Skywalker when
Spider-Man.
We fought? Yeah, no, because remember the rocks? We were talking about the collapsing rocks. And
the rocks was a big part of that.
Yeah.
I still think Spider-Man wins that fight.
Well, Instagram doesn't.
I know. Whatever. Abe Lincoln versus Harry Potter.
I love America. And Abe Lincoln is a staple of that.
Yeah.
But Harry Potter has to win this fight because Abe Lincoln has no familiarity with magic.
Yes.
Abe Lincoln is not somebody who gets frightened often, but magic would have him shaking in his boots.
Abe Lincoln not far removed from a time where they were burning witches.
Yeah. That didn't really have magical powers.
So he would it would blow his mind to meet Harry Potter.
I was going to say, the Harry Potter world is so magical, whereas Abe Lincoln lived in more of like a black and white world, but I felt that was a kind of a bad analogy, so I didn't say it.
I think that's pretty funny. Scooby-Doo versus Frank Reynolds. I think that I like this fight. However, if there's one guy who knows about dog fighting, it's Frank Reynolds. So for that reason, I would have to take Frank Reynolds.
And I will agree with you.
As much as I think that Frank would even like Scooby-Doo, you know what I mean? Like I think they'd get along.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
But when it comes down to
classic who would win of the week fashion, they'd be buddies.
Yeah.
They'd get high together.
Frank just has no care for Steve Irwin versus Master Splinter.
See, here's the thing. We brought up Steve Irwin's ability to, work with animals and understand their current emotion and kind of use that to his advantage.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why going up against a serial killer, he's fine. But when you're talking about Master Splinter, he is not a regular animal. He would be able to maintain so calm to the point where Steve Irwin would feel comfortable getting close to him, and then he'd be able to. It would be 3 moves, and probably the lights would go out.
That is a good call. However, I think that Steve Irwin's knowledge of animals goes so deep that whatever he did, Master Splinter to correct, like literally Pied Piper scenario. Master Splinter's Master Splinter's instincts would be his downfall, because I think Steve Irwin. I do. Especially because Master Splinter, and we're going to go with...
But Steve Irwin's never dealt with an animal like Master Splinter. Master Splinter would be so okay with everything that Steve Irwin does, and he would react so quick. He would react like the Stingray. Just a quick stab.
Yeah, I get that comparison, but fool me once.
Well, you can't be fooled twice when you're bad.
But
so.
I still think Steve Irwin, because, and here's the thing, Master Splinter, and we're going to go with like the cartoon where Master Splinter is a man that then becomes fused with a rat, as opposed to a rat that then kind of becomes fused with a man. Master Splinter spends so much of his time not listening to his rat instincts. The human part of Master Splinter is so forward that he's never.
That's what
he's
I
not.
mean.
But what I'm saying is he's not familiar with those rat instincts.
He doesn't need his rat instincts.
Meaning that he would not necessarily realize when they are being taken advantage of. And if there's one guy who could take advantage of those, it's Steve Irwin.
I don't think rat instincts have anything to do with this fight, and I think the fact that...
Of course they do.
I think the fact that Master Splinter's human instincts are more prevalent than his rat instincts is exactly why he's more fit to take out Steve Irwin.
See, I disagree, because I don't think it's just that they're more prevalent. I see them as two kind of fighting forces internally in Master Splinter. And while Master Splinter is obviously excellent at quieting the rat instincts, it's something that he, at least a very small part of him, has to always be doing, always keeping them at bay. So again, because of his unfamiliarity with them, I think there's an advantage there for Steve to bring them out and manipulate them, like he's done with so many animals before.
I don't agree, so what do we do?
This is a good question. What do we
Emily.
do? What do you think? Okay. Move.
3.
Splinter.
What?
Splinter moves on, baby.
That's
the right pick. That is the...
Based on like pure like physical combat, like who would like...
Yep, which is exactly what this is. It's a fight.
That's insanity. Okay, who's next? Eggsy versus Grandpa Simpson.
We'll just grab Eggsy.
Yeah, we'll just move Eggsy. Grandpa Simpson, though, the only person to ever get 100% of the vote in the Who Would Win.
Yeah, because he was fighting Joe Biden. Byron.
Jackie Chan versus Mark Wahlberg.
Jackie Chan wins this
Jackie
fight.
Chan, 100%.
Mark Wahlberg would think he was going to win this fight, and that would be his downfall.
Now, Mark Wahlberg does have experience beating the shit out of Asians, and I think that would make him even more foolishly confident in taking down Jackie Chan.
Yeah.
Mark Wahlberg is the type of guy that Jackie Chan eats for breakfast. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like, just
Jackie Chan would be
him.
so okay with that, with Mark Wahlberg's confidence, and then just fuck him up.
Oh my God, destroy him.
John Wick versus Mike Ditka. This is John Wick's biggest test so far, but he still wins this fight. But he will have to, like, Mike Ditka will not ever accept defeat. Like, John Wick will be snapping his neck, and Mike Ditka will still be saying, "Is that all you got?"
Kind of similar to the Bruce Lee Jimmy Buffett fight, where it's just kind of two people that respect each other's hustle.
Yeah.
No,
I'm saying the opposite of that fight. Like, Mike Ditka will not go out quietly. Like, he will do everything in his power.
I get what you mean. Yeah, well, the thing is, I don't think any of Ditka's sweater vests are Kevlar, so John Wick has to take it.
Winner, winner, chicken dinner. Move on, John Wick. Congratulations. So we are now officially in the third round. John Wick advancing once again. Bop It versus Bane. I think the Bop It has run its course in this.
I agree.
A great underdog story to make it to round 3.
Yeah.
But Bane, he's just looking down at the Bop It and just stepping on it and crushing it in one foul swoop.
100%.
It's not even sparking his interest as to if he should twist it. He's just he's just crushing it.
Hopeless cries of pull it, ring out as it is a smash. Yes, I think the Bop It has finally met an opponent that it cannot befuddle. So Bane versus John Wick. A good fight for the next round.
Yes. Dom Toretto versus Sour Patch Kids.
What do you think about this one?
I think Dom Toretto wins. I'm not trying to be too biased towards Dom Toretto, but he doesn't back down to Sour Patch Kids. He's dealt with a lot eviler.
I think that the Sour Patch Kids, again, their move for going against larger opponents is the Gulliver's Travel, trying to crawl up his leg and shit like
all
that.
at once.
That's not
like
something
that scene in World War Z where the zombies are trying to get over the wall. Yes, but I don't think Dom Toretto.
I don't think so either.
To that.
Yeah, I don't think that would really faze him. I think that maybe they would cause him a little irritation, but at the end of the day, he'd be able to brush them off with relative ease. So, yeah, Dom Toretto is going to move on. Here we go.
You want to know what I just realized?
Oh, no, what?
No, you did this right, but there was no bye in this fight. You just did the bracket weird.
Okay. All right, whatever.
You see what I'm saying? Because, wait.
What do we... Something's wrong.
No, because that... No, I mean, that's right. We're going to get a Final Four.
Okay,
oh, wait.
Right. But we have to move up here now and do
those
two.
Because we went too far here.
Yeah.
We went too far there.
Oh, that's right. That's weird. Okay, so now we have to jump up to Jackie Chan and Eggsy, and then we'll do Splinter. Okay, so Jackie Chan versus Eggsy, ultimate fight.
Fuck.
Not too different from the original fight Eggsy was in, which was against Snake Eyes. Jackie Chan,
the transitive property, then Eggsy wins this fight. The transitive property, Andy.
The transitive property.
Delusion.
Is
that what it's called?
Diffusion.
No, when dilution.
Diffusion.
No, like when things get diluted.
Okay, yes. Whatever. It doesn't work in this case because Snake Eyes and Jackie Chan is not 1-to-1. These are two different.
I agree. They fight in different styles, but Eggsy is going to look confident, and Jackie Chan's going to try to build it up, but Eggsy's just going to have that smirk, that manners maketh mad smirk, and he's going to lock the door.
Manners maketh the man, not manners maketh mad.
I don't
That's
remember
nothing.
what it was. That's what they say.
Manners maketh the man. Lock the door. Yeah.
So that's what happens. I bet you. Do you think they say that in the new movie? They fucking
100%.
I'd be pissed if they
Yeah,
didn't.
of course.
I think Eggsy wins this fight. He is the younger, more well-trained version of Jackie Chan.
Okay, I don't know about well-trained. Differently trained, certainly.
Differently, yes. More uniquely trained. Jackie Chan is very good at karate.
But this is a hand-to-hand deal.
Eggsy is the master of winning fights. That's what he does.
This is what I think. Eggsy's Achilles' heel is being so involved in a fight that it looks like he's going to win, and then at the last minute he realizes his opponent has actually been setting him up. Like all of a sudden he looks down and his leg is tied by a rope, and then the rope gets pulled. You know what I mean?
I disagree.
Jackie Chan is the kind of guy that's thinking that far ahead. Every single movement is planned out by Jackie Chan, and I would argue that Eggsy is more reacting to things and trying to lash out, where Jackie Chan,
thinking
steps ahead.
I don't agree at all. You know that scene where he clicks his heels and the knife comes out and the
Mhm.
woman thinks he's got him toast? I think Eggsy's fighting style is people think they've got him dead to rights and they don't.
I see what you mean because of in those cases though, it's because of his special spy gadgets. He's always got a trick up his sleeve.
Yeah, but his overall ability to fight hand-to-hand combat style, he's incredibly athletic in doing so. And Jackie Chan is very good at it as well.
Top notch.
But I think that Eggsy wins.
I just
Because
don't
at the
see
end of
it.
the day, this is going to piss you off that I'm going to say this.
No.
But at the end of the day, Jackie Chan is limited to what Jackie Chan can do on this earth. Whereas Eggsy isn't limited by almost anything in those Kingsman movies.
Okay, I can understand how that will play a factor into this. However, also Jackie Chan, I mean, he's broken like every bone in his body. He's still doing it.
Yeah, but Eggsy grew up in the streets, man.
Jackie Chan may have as well. I don't really
Probably
know
not.
his whole deal. It's possible.
Beijing. I've never heard Eggsy sing a song about Beijing. Instant win right there.
For Jackie Chan,
For
absolutely. Whoa, 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 whoa. Beijing, Beijing. Oh, I love Beijing.
Yeah. Banger.
Absolutely. So, Jackie
Eggsy
Chan.
wins.
How many? I feel like Jackie Chan is probably because he has albums of him singing. He's probably gone platinum.
Loss. Anybody with an album.
Eggsy's never gone platinum though.
Yeah, that's why he wins this fight. He's got something to prove. Jackie Chan's got nothing to prove. Eggsy has everything to prove. That's what Dom Toretto's for family. Eggsy's trying to prove himself out here, man. He shouldn't have even been in the Kingsman. They didn't want him there. He wasn't their type, right? He's
Yeah.
breaking boundaries. He's winning fights. Eggsy moves on.
You know, I think that Jackie Chan would really respect Eggsy as a young guy on the come up. So maybe Eggsy wins, but I don't know if Jackie Chan maybe let him win though.
No, Jackie Chan does not take a dive. Don't even start that.
I don't know. If that's how Eggsy wins, it's tough to say.
No, Eggsy wins. Jackie Chan does not take a dive.
If he's got his spy gadgets and stuff, fine. Eggsy can move on.
Don't sound so happy about it. You're not supposed to bring personal emotion into this tournament.
It's tough when it comes to Jackie though.
Birthday, I know.
No, you move him to the next one. That's where he just was.
All right, the next fight.
There you go.
Eggsy versus Jackie Chan. All right.
Master Splinter versus Frank Reynolds. Does Frank have enough experience with rats to beat? If Steve Irwin didn't have enough experience with rats, if it was Charlie
versus
versus
Charlie versus Master
that'd be a
Splinter,
sick
Charlie
fight.
would win. I think Master Splinter just sits there peacefully while Frank Reynolds spews his bullshit.
Yeah,
And then he just
takes him out.
yeah.
Yeah, I think you're right because I think that Frank, you know, his experience with rats, he'd see, oh, this is a big rat. I have to kind of slowly move towards my gun, you know, talking that bullshit while he's doing it, and that would not work on Master Splinter.
So we're down to our Elite Eight,
Okay.
as they call it. We have John Wick versus Bane, Dom Toretto versus Jack Black, Luke Skywalker versus Harry Potter, and Eggsy versus Master Splinter. Three of probably the greatest who would win of the week fights of all time, I would say. A true tournament of champions here.
This is really hard.
Well, let's start up top.
With John Wick and Bane?
Yeah.
Oh, man.
This is a
crazy.
true battle. But at the end of the day, I still think John Wick wins this fight. And the reason that I say that is because Bane ends up losing. You know what I mean? Like, Bane eventually goes down.
Mm-hmm.
John Wick is the master assassin. And even when the entire community of assassins is out to get him, he is able to find his way through.
Yeah, I mean, I don't really care about what has happened to that, like the history of both of these guys, but looking at the way that they fight, John Wick does so well against every single style of fighter. I feel like especially somebody like Bane, who's literally all brute force.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly. I feel like John Wick does so good with that type. And look, he might get beat.
He might be sore.
He might get bloodied up, but at the end of the day, he would find a way to get Bane.
He'd find
without a doubt.
way to kill Bane that like nobody else in the world knows that you can kill somebody doing.
I think if John Wick can get on his back and choke out Bane, Bane is going to start slamming him against a wall.
John will take the punishment.
John will take that without a doubt.
He'll hold on for dear life.
If he can fuck with the mask a little bit, and that's something that John Wick, I feel like, technology like that, he might be able to recognize.
Yeah. Oh, definitely.
Yeah, John Wick over Bane, absolutely.
I agree.
It's no surprise that John Wick is moving to the Final Four.
So, moving down.
Can we just put them like here?
No, you got to put them above.
Like here?
Oh.
Here?
Oh. No, because John Wick is about to fight the winner of Master Splinter and Eggsy.
Yeah.
So you can put him where? Yeah, you can put him down low. That's fine.
Okay, we'll put them here and then we'll put them.
Okay. Dom Toretto versus Jack Black. I also feel that Jack Black has run his course now.
Against Dom Toretto?
And the reason that I say that is because, again, Dom Toretto isn't going to deal with the bullshit.
Yeah, the thing is, I think that Dom Toretto comes from such a serious world that Jack Black's charisma is completely negated.
Yeah, it doesn't. He doesn't even realize it. It's done and over before Jack Black even wants to start.
Yeah, yeah, man.
A good run by Jack Black, though.
Absolutely.
Took out Jack Sparrow and Kangaroo Jack.
I would not have been surprised if he had made it to the Final Four for sure, but Dom just comes from that world that's just so straight, so unlike Jack Black. So we'll just put the last two right there.
I figured out the difference in this tournament.
Okay.
It's actually this bracket right here that gets the bye.
Okay.
Well,
that doesn't matter now, though.
No, it doesn't.
Okay.
Because if this original fight was over there where it should have been, it would have stacked up just like the top two, right?
Okay.
That third one would have been just like the top two.
Okay.
Whereas the fourth one is
I
missing
see.
a whole leg of bracket.
Yeah. I just did.
So you did make this bracket pretty poorly.
Oh yeah, I did a terrible job.
Yeah.
I'll be the first to admit it.
But it's worked. It's gone smooth.
Yes. And I mean, we're at the end of it here. I knew it was going to get better as we moved in. So let's start up with Eggsy and Master Splinter.
Oh.
Wisdom. I think Wisdom beats it this time around. Master Splinter has trained his sons, who in some ways are so similar to Eggsy.
How can you say, though, that Master Splinter is going to win this fight when you didn't even think Master Splinter should beat Steve Irwin?
Because
I know it's a different
for
fight.
completely different reasons. Because when it came to Steve Irwin, that was a mental exchange.
I understand.
With Eggsy,
I think that
I think it's more experience and physical skill comes into play a little bit, but I think Master Splinter's experience of training his four boys, the fact that he's got a tail, also the tail, big factor.
I think the tail is what does it for me, because without the tail, I don't know if that Master Splinter wins. Just wisdom, but also age. But he's so fast. He has the extra limb. Master Splinter can take this one for sure. And I'm sad about that. I was pro Eggsy to kind of make a run.
Yeah.
Whoa. Oh man, Eggsy should be there just because I know you can't make a pick off the next fight, but
I know that would have also been really good if we had a John Wick versus Eggsy matchup. But I think evidently the same thing would have happened between Eggsy and Master Splinter. John Wick, just a more what is that word? A more experienced version of Eggsy.
Yeah. Okay, so Harry Potter versus Luke Skywalker. This is one that's probably been discussed.
Oh, for sure. A lot of comments
because you're talking magic versus Jedi power,
right? Which is kind of magic.
So I'll ask you a question.
Mm-hmm.
Can a lightsaber block a spell?
Whoa.
Like a lightsaber can block a bullet, because a wand can block a spell.
Yeah.
So can a lightsaber block a spell?
I'm going to have to think about this for a second, because it all depends on what... Jesus
and
Christ.
And the other thing
This
you
is
have to
hard.
remember is we're not talking about a random wizard versus a random Jedi. We're
Yeah.
talking about the
Basically-
Jedi versus the wizard.
Right, basically the best of the best.
Yes.
This is tough. So I'm going to work this out a little bit in real time, but wow, that's a great question. Can a lightsaber deflect spells? So let me just break down
Can I tell you what I think?
Okay.
Oh, well, no, you can go ahead.
So we know what the lightsaber blade is made out of. It's essentially focused radiation of a kyber crystal.
Okay, so
Radiation may not be the best
Yeah.
word, but that's essentially what it is.
I have a follow-up
Spells.
question then.
I mean, spells. What the fuck
Can
are
a
spells?
can the Force block a spell? Because I would say yes.
It's kind of the same question.
Yes,
because
it is.
Because in Star Wars, we know that if you are strong enough with the Force, you can stop a blaster bolt, literally a laser
Yeah.
bolt. So if a spell is made up of some kind of tangible component like that, in the same way, because it's definitely
Yeah,
tangible.
but
like
something
we
doesn't
see,
have to be
we
tangible
see
for
light.
the Force to. The Force is a feeling.
Yeah, but the way the Force works, though, is it does focus on the metachlorians.
Yeah,
of,
a thing.
Right.
So,
to
but-
break it
Yeah.
focuses
and
on.
I think
it
that
controls
a
things
spell,
on a cellular
a
level.
spell,
Yeah.
because in Harry Potter, if I shoot a spell at
Sure.
you, there is something.
There's a visual element. Yes.
which I think makes it whatever that word you
Right.
would
Probably
use.
something tangible.
So if that's the case, I have to pick Luke Skywalker here.
But can the Force? Okay. Let me think. Let me just think about this. Can the Force? Because I will say I don't think. Well, no.
Because a spell itself is a force of some type of energy coming at you. It exists.
Probably. Right.
No, it is. It exists.
Yeah.
So I think
hold
that,
on. Could the Force? I think I just have to say this out loud. Could the Force, like, let's say there was a radiation leak, could the Force contain it? If it's strong enough Jedi, I think absolutely. I think that is a very close comparison to what a spell would be. So yes, I think you're right. And I think that a shield spell could block a lightsaber, but with Luke Skywalker getting that close to Harry Potter. Also, Luke Skywalker
could
can
use the Force to take his wand. That's what I was thinking.
I mean, that'd be difficult to do. I don't even think that really plays a role. I
do,
that,
because if you can use the Force to shoot a lightsaber out of somebody's hand,
But
you
I-
should be able to use the Force to...
you can't really do that, though. I mean, I guess you could, but
You can do that.
I've never seen that happen before.
Oh, yeah.
When?
I don't know.
Oh, you know what? Actually, I do kind
Yeah.
of remember that. But when they're in the heat of battle and they're both on their instincts, I think Harry would have a good grasp on his wand. And Harry could also shoot the lightsaber out,
Yes.
so I don't think either of those actually happens.
But Luke Skywalker can operate without the lightsaber, whereas I don't think Harry Potter could operate in this fight without the wand.
Well, that was kind of my point similarly as well, in a way that Luke can use the Force and his lightsaber at the same time.
Yes.
Harry can't really do multiple spells at once. He can
Yes.
set things up, but he can't do multiple attacks at the same time.
Yep.
So, yeah, Luke Skywalker beats Harry Potter 100%.
So we are now down to the final four. We have John Wick versus Master Splinter and Dom Toretto versus Luke Skywalker. So if it's okay with you, we can start at the ladder, because unfortunately, Dom Toretto, to me, has now run his course. He cannot take on a Jedi.
Yeah, as lucky as Dom Toretto is, as incredible as his feats are, the things that he has done and gotten away with, he's never seen the likes of Luke Skywalker.
No, and he's dealt with some crazy shit,
absolutely,
but not the Force. He's never dealt with the Force.
Not literal magic. Insanely advanced technology, but never that.
So
feel
Luke Skywalker is
I've-
our first to
Jeez.
advance.
I feel a little sad that Dom Toretto has been.
Yeah,
has
that's
been
how I felt
bested.
about Eggsy.
Just because Dom Toretto has been fighting so well, and it's only because he's going up against something that he has no concept.
The only thing stronger than the power of family is the Force.
Is the Force.
Yeah.
I'd say that's true.
John Wick versus Master Splinter.
Boy, oh boy.
I have to go with John Wick here.
There's just no way. I think that. Oh man, yeah. I think Splinter would fight so valiantly and do such a wonderful. I mean, God, he'd fight so hard, and I don't think he's an easy target. But John Wick is just so skillful. I mean, even if it gets down to hand, John Wick's got something that can beat Master Splinter. I just don't see Splinter coming out of this one. I think, in a weird way, this is where his age kind of catches up to him.
Yeah. Not that John Wick's young, but he's not Master Splinter old.
And as experienced as Splinter is, John Wick, I mean, we said it when he was fighting Bane. He's gone up against every single body type.
And it's one of those things, too, where he seems to find his way out of situations.
Yeah.
Like, he can... It's similar to what I said against Eggsy in this fight against Jackie Chan. John Wick will a lot of times can seem down and out.
Mm-hmm.
And he'll just... It's the same thing with Bane, right? He's going to take a beating, but he's going to win.
Yeah.
So will you advance John Wick, please?
I will.
So we have the championship matchup in the Tournament of Champions. Who would win the week? Tournament of Champions 2021.
John Wick versus Luke Skywalker. Before we get to it, I'd like to take a moment to remember some of the Who Would Wins that we lost this year.
Yeah.
I want to read some of the rejected Who Would Wins of the week that I pitched and Matthew said no to.
Hey, don't blame them all on me.
I think people will understand your apprehension when I read some of these. I don't even know where to start on this list. Okay, so these are the ones that some of them I really wanted to do, and some of them I was like, this is funny, but there's no way we can do it. Let's see. Get my pen so I can. Indiana Jones versus erectile dysfunction. Oh, can we do a thing where you just say who wins? Whichever. Okay, so Indiana Jones versus erectile dysfunction. Pearl Harbor versus 9/11.
9/11.
Whoa, I would have gone PH on that one.
Recency bias.
Yeah, fair. Whoopi Goldberg versus Captain Crunch.
Ooh, Whoopi. Whoopi would make a run in this tournament.
Oh, you might not know who some of these people are.
I do.
Yogurt versus Danimals drinkable yogurt. Or Gogurt versus Danimals drinkable yogurt.
Gogurt.
Okay.
Why my explanation? Gogurt was like Skater Boy. Danimals was like Child.
I would argue almost the opposite of that. Danimals, there was a skateboarding monkey in their commercials.
Danimals XD is different. We didn't say Danimals XD.
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
Danimals XD would be going up against John Wick right now.
Yeah.
Hootie and the Blowfish versus Darius Rucker.
Dumb. Hootie and the Blowfish obviously wins. It's just also Darius Rucker with more people.
Kurt Cobain versus Vincent Van Gogh.
I'm going to go Van Gogh.
Danny Phantom versus the Ghostbusters.
The Ghostbusters.
Gandhi versus Peter Pan.
Gandhi.
Guy Fieri versus Saddam Hussein.
Saddam.
Wow.
Depends how much flavor's around.
Andrew Cuomo versus Big Bird.
Big Bird.
I like that call. The Empire State Building versus 20 elephants.
The Empire State Building.
Wow, against 20 elephants? Like
elephants.
Big
African elephants.
Yeah.
Hmm?
Holy shit. Rachel Dolezal versus Hilaria Baldwin.
I don't know who either of those people
Rachel Dolezal was the woman who pretended to be black. Hilaria Baldwin pretended to be from Spain.
I would say pretending to be
black is probably harder.
Yeah, uh-huh.
That's definitely more difficult. Miss Piggy versus the Taliban.
Miss Piggy.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. And the final rejected who would win. Hannah Montana versus Jar Jar Binks.
You saved that one for last on purpose, didn't you?
Mm-hmm.
I would go with Jar Jar Binks.
Okay.
R.I.P. to all those Food One of the Weeks.
They're gone.
Yeah.
It's a lost memory now.
Never. The card has been thrown.
I loved some of those, but there's definitely some we could not do.
Yeah.
Can you imagine if we spent like 15 minutes talking about 9/11 versus Pearl Harbor?
I can't believe I even answered the question.
But now that brings us to the final. This is it. And this is
2021 coming to an end. 10, 9, like that. Ball droppings type stuff right here.
yeah, this will
drop your balls.
This
folks.
will make your balls drop.
John
John Wick versus Luke Skywalker.
Here's the thing.
Mm-hmm.
I think there's only two people on this board that John Wick would lose to. And they both happen to have some type of like additional
supernatural element.
Now, for the sake of, we didn't really think about this during Harry Potter, but for the sake of a fight, wouldn't Luke Skywalker not have a lightsaber? But then again, Harry Potter has a wand, so.
And John Wick's got his various weapons.
John Wick has weapons.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so that makes this more interesting. Question for you. Follow-up question. Can a lightsaber block a bullet?
Mm-hmm.
I know it can block a laser beam.
Yeah.
It can block a bullet.
For sure.
But
can...
I just don't think as much as John Wick is the master assassin, I don't think he has a way to defend against the Force.
Yes. He wouldn't John Wick would not be able to go on defense in this fight.
He would have to play all offense. He would have to keep
offense.
Luke Skywalker in a state of
constant motion.
Constant not being focused.
Which Luke Skywalker does, in a way, thrive in that situation.
Well, I was going to say, that's the thing, is it's not any Jedi. Again, we're talking about Luke Skywalker, so his, ability to use the Force and focus and things like that are, much higher than the average Jedi, right? Mm-hmm. Whereas the average Jedi needs to be able to have extreme focus to use the Force at all. Whereas Luke Skywalker is so one with the Force. I'm trying to develop a scenario in which John Wick could combat the Force, and I don't see an answer. Except for maybe explosives.
That's what I was thinking. If John Wick can riddle Luke Skywalker with machine gun fire, and somehow
like a war machine, a grenade launcher, like boom.
Well, this is what I'm saying. It'd have to be both.
Okay.
He riddles him with it because he would have to keep Luke busy with the fire, so it'd have to be something very rapid. You can get a lot of bullets going.
Yeah.
Right? So it'd have to be something like a machine gun, and then somehow get a grenade past Luke's perception and blow him up.
Well, that's the thing, too, and it's the same thing we talked about in the Harry Potter fight, is Luke can use the Force and his lightsaber at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know that John Wick has any entry point. I do agree that John Wick can stay on offense long enough to make Luke play defense, but eventually he's not going to have any more offense.
And even if we give John Wick every single bullet in the world,
doesn't matter.
That's still a limited amount of bullets. The Force never runs out.
On the flip side of that, you could say that you can be exhausted from using the Force to the point where you don't have any more energy.
That's true.
But if that's the case, then John Wick would have to be tired from freaking loading machine guns.
Yeah, exactly.
14 straight weeks
Yeah.
consecutively. So
And I don't think that
comes into
you know,
play.
regular weapons are really enough to get Luke to use to get
That much force.
Yeah.
Well, I think that solves it. I don't think there's a way out of it. I fought hard for their way out of it for John Wick. I didn't want Luke Skywalker to win this fight because it feels a little bit like cheating.
It does kind of feel like cheating. But he's such an OP
Yeah,
character.
he is. And the
You know?
fact that you thought Spider-Man would beat him is still crazy.
No, it's different. John Wick doesn't have a spider sense.
Luke Skywalker is about to be crowned the Who Would Win of the Week Tournament of Champions champion.
Yeah. If Spider-Man were in this fight, things would be different, though.
No, because all the reasons that Luke Skywalker is beating John Wick are the same reasons that he's beating Spider-Man. Is you can't combat the Force. I know we've talked about this.
Mhm.
It can't be combated. We don't need to talk about it again. Okay, we don't. Look at me.
He's not. You don't have to combat it, though. You can just move around it if you're Spider-Man.
We would like to say congratulations to our Who Would Win of the Week 2021 Tournament of Champions champion, Luke Skywalker.
The be-all, end-all.
Still alive.
The number one. Let's just move him into
Yeah, let's give him.
position of
Yeah.
power.
Put him. Yeah, right up under there. The 2021 Who Would Win of the Week Tournament of Champions champion is.
Luke
Oh,
Skywalker.
you're supposed to.
Oh.
Luke Skywalker. Applause. Hit the applause button on my. That was fun.
That was a lot of fun.
If you could pick one person that you would have brought to the end from round one, who would it have been?
Oh man. Just for fun. I would have liked to see the Bop It go further, for sure.
The Pop It made a run.
The Bop It was going for it. Obviously Steve Irwin and Jackie Chan, two of my personal heroes, would have loved to see them keep going.
You got to pick one here. We're not going because I got a follow-up question.
If I could have picked one,
Somebody who was out in the first round. How about that?
somebody who's out right here.
Yeah. Both sides.
Oh man. Probably. Let's see. I think that. This is tough, actually. I feel like. Nope. I mean, I feel like you
Rafi.
have to go with Rafi.
I'm between Rafi and Ferris Bueller, two people I would have liked seeing make a deeper run. Follow-up question: what do you think? What is one name? What is one name that? Excuse me. Made it farther than you expected it to.
The Bop It. Also, Mike Ditka. But
Ditka
if
had
you
a
look
good
at
run.
Ditka's matchups, though, it kind of makes sense that he ended up where he
Robin
was.
and then Creed, and then he lost to John Wick.
I really
runner-up.
thought Robin was going to take that going in.
You're
But
delusional. I would say, yeah. I mean, the Bop It made a good run. Who else? Jack Black made a really good run. Sour
Jack
Patch
Black,
Kids made a really good run.
I would have bet Jack Black to go to the Final Four.
Frank Reynolds also made a really good run.
Yeah, Frank Reynolds, similar boat to Rafi.
I would say Bruce Lee got dealt a bad hand.
Oh yeah, he went up against Dom.
Abe Lincoln probably got dealt a bad hand.
Yeah. Well, going up against Harry Potter,
Yeah.
that's a tough one for Honest Abe.
And Mark Wahlberg.
Mark Wahlberg,
Yeah, I agree.
I'm
I take
glad
that
he
back.
ended where he went.
He ran his course, man.
And yeah, most of these I'm happy with. I'm glad that Grandpa Simpson beat Larry the Cable Guy. 'Cause
Yeah.
again, just
Barry
a liar.
label carry guy.
Yeah.
Wait, Larry the Cable.
What?
Larry the Cable Guy. Is that what I said?
Something like I'm not
Okay,
sure.
close enough.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, I think all in all,
I feel like Donkey could have gone farther.
yeah, but he had to fight who round one?
Frank Reynolds?
No.
Yeah. Yeah, Frank,
No,
Donkey. and
Frank
then
fought
Frank to Steve.
Scooby-Doo.
Oh, right.
Who was here? Who beat Frank?
Uh,
Master Splinter.
Master Splinter. Right. Okay.
Donkey
yeah,
fought
yeah.
Master Splinter.
Yeah,
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 that was, yeah.
That was it.
All in all,
Mick Jagger, I was glad he didn't go far. I
was just
liked
thinking about his face.
I liked the Abe Lincoln Mick Jagger.
Yeah, it was a good
matchup.
fight. It was a good fight. A lot of good names on this board.
Seriously, it's a when I was going through them all today, it was a very strange way to look back on the year. Like when we did John Wick, we didn't have the studio. We were still doing it over Zoom. We did the Ditka, who went up against Bill Belichick the first time we had Bernie on. Shout out to Buff Mafia _716 on Instagram.
The first time, so that was over Zoom too.
But yeah, so that was the last Zoom who would win of the week. And then the next week we were in the studio with Noah. Yeah,
and who did we do?
I can't remember. I can't remember which one that was. But yeah. It's very, looking back through all of them, this is the only way that I'd really want to measure a year is like looking back on all the
at the
who
who
would
win
wins.
of the week.
Yeah.
And
look where you come from.
Surprise.
Wait, come from. Look at you now. That's us, man.
Yeah.
I'm shaving my head.
There is a stipulation that I would like to announce.
Oh no! What?
And
what?
it's that Luke Skywalker actually might not win the Tournament of Champions.
What do you mean? We just went through the whole bracket.
Omnicron.
That was stupid.
No,
that was a lame joke.
Name one person on here that Omnicron wouldn't take out.
If Luke Skywalker can stop radiation,
no, he
which
can't
is what
stop Omnicron.
Then of course he can stop
Andrew,
it.
nothing can stop Omnicron.
What about old?
The Bop It?
Yeah, what about the Bop It?
Bop It would give it a run for its money.
Omnicron. If you told Omnicron to pull it, it would.
Yeah,
it'd be toast.
Unless there was a breathe it. If Bop It had to breathe it, yeah, then Omnicron would be laughing. But
I think there is a version of Bop It that has a shout it. So that could do it.
Okay. Well, all in all, Andy, what a year.
Yeah, it really was. This is the last show of the year, and I think we'll definitely have to continue this trend. We can just use the board over again. Maybe we'll get something crazy. I don't know. But
yeah. Well, it'll be in about another 365 days.
Yeah.
We'll do this again. We'll see how it goes.
This is one thing that when we started the Who Would Win of the Week, I'd always dreamed of.
Like doing something
like
this.
Doing a full year bracket. Because last year, the first year we did the podcast, and we didn't even have like a full year because we started in April. We just chose our two favorites and matched them up against each other. But this is like as shitty as this whiteboard looks, as fucked up as I think it looks fantastic. Bracket, as fucked up as I made this bracket,
jacked.
This is a dream come true for me.
The bracket is jacked up.
A year in review.
Next year I'll make the bracket.
Okay.
My 2022 New Year's resolution is to make all your brackets. It's for you should be to get better at brackets.
Buy me a book on brackets.
Okay.
What's the bracket book? What's the best bracket
for
book?
Dummies.
Brackets for dummies.
Andy, it's been a hell of a year.
Yeah.
Everybody out there, it's been a hell of a year. Thank you for listening.
And the poll on Friday is going to be Luke Skywalker versus John Wick. So if you think that the
crown can be passed.
The crown can be passed. This is just us, but ultimately,
because as we know, the internet reigns supreme.
Yes. That's what this poll has stated.
If you have anything to say about the rest of them, that's too bad. It's not up for debate.
Yeah, so sorry.
Yeah, suck it. But seriously, Andy, let's have another one. No.
Let's do it.
All right, everybody. Thanks for listening. Check that out on Friday. That will be posted. Make sure you vote. Weigh in, man. Give us your opinions. Let us know. Other than that, hope everybody has a great start to the new year.
Yeah.
We're gonna fire it up again.
Yep.
Watch out for the Omnicron.
It's gonna be we've got some good people to start off the year as far as guests.
Oh yeah, we have Bezos.
We have Jeff Bezos coming in. It's gonna be fun to sit down with him.
Yeah, we're going. We're going on a run of Jeff. So we're doing Bezos. And then Epstein,
and then Bridges,
and then
Jeff Bridges. He's a very famous.
And then
actor.
Jeff from Survivor.
And then Jeff. Do you know his last name?
No,
me neither. Survivor Jeff.
Survivor Jeff.
Oh, man.
Jeff Omnicron.
I almost don't want the tournament to end. This was a fun episode.
Yeah, it was. But all good things must come to an end, Andrew. Emily, you're fired.
Happy New Year!
Andy, I love you.
I love you too. Let's get out of here. Thanks, folks.